Welcome to Delta Green, God's Teeth, brought to you by Black Project Gaming. Get read in at blackprojectgaming.com. I'm Vince, your host and handler for this campaign. Joining me are Cami as FBI Special Agent Sarah Hart, Doug as Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent Gerrald Bear Swenson, Jack as Special Agent Adrian Selivanov with the FBI's Computer Analysis Response Team, and Sonia as Dr. Leah Caron with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. God's Teeth is a campaign of unthinkable horrors, written by Caleb Stokes for Delta Green, the role-playing game. For more information on Delta Green, please visit delta-green.com. Music in these episodes is brought to you by Cryo Chamber and Epidemic Sound. This podcast contains depictions of and allusions to violence against both children and animals, as well as unnatural horror, graphic violence, and adult language. As a result, it is intended solely for mature audiences. Listener discretion is strongly advised. So it is currently Monday, September 5th, 2016. In our last session, Leah and Adrian, you returned after dropping off the blood sample in Tampa from the leftovers of the Bloody Tongue and its interaction with Bear. During that time, Sarah and Bear, you met briefly with Deputy Casey Eckstein, who instructed you to meet him at the nearby Rub and Dub car wash at 12 a.m. Shortly thereafter, you all reconvened at your hotel. After briefly debating whether or not to go to Miami before the meet with Eckstein, you all decided to scope out the car wash first. You planned your approach with Eckstein, how to cover that midnight meeting. Sarah used her criminology skill to illicitly procure a hunting rifle. Sarah and Adrian, you two met with Eckstein, while Bear and Leah provided overwatch. Prior to that meeting, Sarah, you got a call from Pizzarelli, who informed you of the insurance policy he had secured in case Eckstein's cooperation needed to be coerced. Essentially a dead drop of cocaine, a light machine gun, and a sawed-off shotgun buried on his stepmother and father's property. Pizzarelli also confirmed that Jennifer Will's last known location was indeed St. Lawrence Church in Miami, and the Perez family vehicle was found abandoned in the same area. During the meeting with Eckstein, Bear, you set up overwatch in the brush outside the car wash with Leah, kind of acting as your spotter. Sarah and Adrian, you spoke with Eckstein, who was all too happy to hand over Crystal Killian's journal. He espoused his beliefs that the journal was proof of federal agents pursuing devil worshippers. He was convinced that you and Adrian are indeed his allies, and he remained willing to cooperate. You all then returned to the hotel to review Crystal Killian's journal, which led to Adrian looking into something called the Gang Graffiti Automatic Recognition and Interpretation Database, or GARI. And that revealed that the red brain graffiti you've seen cropping up has indeed showed up in Miami near St. Lawrence Church. Adrian, you also made the connection between the Magna Mater referred to in Crystal Killian's journal and the Great Mother Cybele. You also connected that some of the images drawn on the St. Lawrence Church flyer might actually connect to real-world locations. Unfortunately, you failed your Int times 5 roll, which meant you failed to identify what those locations could be. Bear and Leah, however, were able to tie those images in the flyer to several locations, including a sculpture of alligators over the portion of Interstate 75 known as Alligator Alley, a horned pole advertising a steakhouse on Alligator Alley itself, and the moon in the drawing of the tree and stars was in the same phase as it was that night. You all briefly discussed following those signs that very same night before deciding to sleep and leave for Miami when you woke up, because you did pull an all-nighter, meeting with Eckstein and then reviewing Crystal Killian's journal. You all traveled down to Miami, arriving at the St. Lawrence Church, where you watched as a greyhound crossed the street toward you, tearing an eastern coral snake in its jaws to bits before succumbing to the poisonous bites it sustained. Adrian, you took lead in speaking with Father Robledo, who confirmed that he had previously encountered Elle, Samuel, and Jennifer. He also ran into Thomas Perez, who arrived a week or so ago, but left after just a few days with some younger members of the homeless population, and he has not returned since. Father Robledo told you all of a strange local mythology that had taken root among the homeless population at the shelter, especially the children. He linked the red brain graffiti to something called the red-minded men. He stated that another teenager named Philip, street name Philly Phil, hung around Elle, Samuel, and Jennifer, and it was from him that most of this mythology originated. Father Robledo told you all that Phil stays in an abandoned, dilapidated house across the street from the church. You all then spoke to a volunteer nurse named Guadalupe Chavez, and you obtained more details on the mythology of the hungry mother, the red-minded men, the quiet children, silent slaves, Sredni Vashtar, and a figure they call the Speaker. After wrapping things up with Father Robledo and Miss Chavez, you all walked over to the abandoned house across the street. You found more symbols drawn on the walls: alligators, a horned pole, the moon and stars, a dead tree, a ring of stick figures around a campfire, and a small childlike figure with red hands standing over 4 adult corpses with red brains. Then a voice, seeming to whisper from the walls themselves, saying something like, "She hungered, she God. She Sredni Vashtar, she eat it all, but eat you most. Ate with and on, forever on. You stink of outside." And that is where we are. We are in the house. We are in the dark. It is evening. And we hear this whispering with a indeterminate source. It seems to be coming from the walls itself. But you are not alone here. What do we do?
The voices seem to be coming from the walls, but I want to try to see if we can pinpoint where it's coming from.
Sure. Nope, that makes sense. Go ahead and make a search roll.
3.
3 out of 61. Off to a great start tonight. You find that the voice seems loudest in the wreckage of a fallen staircase in the center of the house. If anybody else would like to follow up with another search roll, you may.
Sure, why not?
Sarah with a 13 out of 84. You determine that the wreckage seems to have been moved recently, with only some of it moved back. There's a few shattered drywall panels, boards, and stretches of sodden, rotten carpet covering a gap. Naked wooden stairs lead down, with small nails jutting and rusting. And all this time, you continue to hear this whispering coming from around you, deeper inside, down. Ellen Sammy thinks you feed God, thinks you not like us, thinks you red-minded, thinks God has ate you up. Tommy thinks you just do the chewing, just a tooth. Which, ate up or eat? Or ate up and eat same time like us, like bite the tongue.
I just wanted to make sure that I pull my handgun out.
This might be stupid, but Adrian, he'll have his weapon drawn. This is the first time he's been in a situation like this firsthand, though. He's heard about it from other agents, but he's never been in this. He's never felt trapped like this. But he's going to say, "We found Elle. We found Sammy. Just come out. We can talk to you."
Oh, we find out which. We see, smell and see, ate or eat. You a tooth, make you sharp. Just meat eat you up, surprise Jenny. Singing good for surprises, only good in it.
Can we approach slowly that fallen staircases? I think Leah thinks that whoever is speaking isn't actually here.
As we do that, I have a flashlight, so with my gun out as well, just to be safe, I'd like to shine my flashlight down there as well.
You begin slowly creeping downwards towards the staircase and following it down. The light from your flashlight bounces off these rotten, decaying walls. This house just so happens to be one of many in Miami, surprisingly built with a basement. The water table is high, so close to the coast, rising sometimes within inches of the surface. Of course, this basement has flooded and has decayed even more than the upper house. You see paneling and drywall crumbled away from raw, clammy bricks. From what you can see of the floor, it's a rot of soggy carpet and ragged foam over rough cement. You're met with this strange earthy fume of burned herbs or fungus lingering on the air, drifting from somewhere deeper inside. But you do see light. You see flickering, almost of candles.
How old do the voices sound, the whispering?
Young. Probably, it's tough to tell sometimes, but if you had to guess, 20s, maybe 30s.
How old was Elle?
So Elle was 19. So she would have been 4 at the time of Cornucopia House.
Okay.
Most of them were.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me than being older. So in that case, again, just sort of like going on a hunch here, but Adrian, continuing to sort of try and reach out to the whispers, will start to speak in fluent Russian. You don't have to be scared. We can help. We're here to help. We just need to know what's going on.
What you talking? You talk like them. You talk like them from back there. Before all this, before Hungry Mama. Before God.
I am like them. We come from the same place. Please, just one of you. We just want to talk.
You come down and talk, or you come down and die.
And the voice is speaking in English, right?
Yep, and there's no trace of an Eastern European, Russian, Ukrainian, Belarusian, any sort of accent.
Does it sound like when they're replying that they understand what I'm saying, or are they just sort of talking at us?
Talking at you.
Okay, gotcha.
Based on the response, they don't know Russian.
Got it. No, that makes sense now. Yeah. Then I will say in English then. We just want to talk. We'll come down, but you have to meet us in somewhere in the middle. We don't want to hurt you. We just want to talk. And when he's saying this, he's sort of like giving a look over to Dr. Caron and Sarah. Like, am I doing this right?
Sarah will kind of nod at Adrian, kind of like, yeah, you did good, affirming that. And then still like very slowly creeping down, we'll ask, are we talking to Philly Phil right now?
You don't get a response, but the voice is female.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, then I mean, I'm just heading down, I think.
The stairs creak beneath your weight. Obviously having begun to rot, started giving way to rot. And that female voice calls out from the dark. Come and see. Come and eat. Come and be fed.
I don't like that at all.
Leah, kind of following Sarah, looks into the darkness and says, are we talking to Jen?
Come and see. Come and eat. Come and be fed.
She hungers, not us.
You, she, we, the same. All hungry.
Flashlights, lights on. This is not going to be pretty.
I don't think there's anything to do but keep going.
As you begin moving down, who you presume to be Jennifer, or whoever this female speaker is, says, Hungry mama, mama to you, they grab babies from heaven, but hungry mama send you, say mine, give back. Hungry mama, make both, make us and make you. Make us when God save us.
I'd like to try and persuade. I know I have a pretty low score in it, but just hear me out. I sort of like speaking to the single voice, the one that Dr. Caron called Jen. I just want to try and get her to come and meet us halfway at least, or like someone to come meet us halfway so that we know that we're not just going crazy. And so I'm going to say, we're going to come down to you, okay? We're not going to hurt you, but we need someone, one of you, to come meet us somewhere in the middle so that you can help guide us. We're in a vulnerable position right now, and we need help. We need your help.
Go ahead and make a persuade roll at -20.
I mean, I only have a 24.
You might get under a 4.
Yeah, with a 65 out of 24 with that 20% modifier. The voice remains silent.
I think I'm going to try another tack on that regard. As we're slowly moving down, Leah is thinking more back to Bast and wondering more on her designs rather than what they think she means. Are you sure you know what she wants? She hungers, but does she hunger for you? For me? For any of us? Or does she hunger from what we had killed all those years ago?
Are you trying to persuade her, or are you just talking to her?
Trying to persuade this time, like trying to be like, see, you don't have to die for this. We don't have to kill each other or hurt each other for this.
The voice stays silent.
All right.
What's the marching order going down here?
I think Bear would want to be towards the front. I don't know if he needs to go in front, but he would want to be towards the front.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say that Sarah would either be in front or in the back, so I can take the back.
Okay, yeah. If she lets Bear step in front of her, he will. And he'll have a flashlight out as well, with the gun in position.
Leah will be either second or third, it doesn't matter.
We'll keep you towards the end. Adrian will be precariously placed behind Bear.
One thing is, though, when this kind of interaction happens between Sarah and Bear, he kind of like looks at her, acknowledging that he's going to go in front of her. When you see his face, you can see that all of this discussion that's going on, all of this, talk about, we don't have to do this. The expression on Bear's face is, no, we have to do this. We're either prey or we're the predators. And if we're not the predators, we're the prey. We have to do this.
Yeah, I think she maybe gives him a small nod as they kind of pass by, because I think she is of a similar mind in this moment, that there is no talking their way out of whatever is about to happen. It can only end in two ways. So yeah, she gives him a small nod as she gets into her position.
Moving down, you finally see the source of that smell, that earthy scent of the burned herbs, of the fungus. It's drifting from a mass that's smoking in an ancient coffee can. Candles are flickering all over the basement around this shrine built of cat bones and alligator teeth. Paraphernalia of every kind of high litter the floor, and a couple of wobbling tables and folding chairs. And you see her in this small, decaying, rotted basement. You recognize her immediately as someone who at some point was Jennifer Lee Wills. She's on the short side, a mixed race woman that has wasted away from years of abuse and addiction. Her skin, pocked and scabbed, is yellowish from what you presume to be liver disease. Tattoos around and on her lips imitate stitches. Her mouth, currently shut, looks like it's been sewn together. Her thin left forearm has a rough tattoo of a fat cartoon alligator standing up like a man, sporting this insane smile that drips gore from a lolling tongue and jagged fangs, and it holds a trumpet made of bones. You all smell it. Everyone make a sanity test, please.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Oh no, Adrian.
And Adrian.
You all up until this point have experienced the scent, that smell, at some point in time. Not the one currently drifting from the coffee can, but the smell that has seemed to cascade off of your prey in Maryland, in North Carolina, and now here. It's that scent, that smell of meat, enticing, alluring, hunger-inducing, but similarly nausea-inducing, of something so universally wrong. And for you, Adrian and Sarah, you rolled sanity and you both failed. 93 out of 71 for Adrian and 98 out of 35 for Sarah. Adrian, I think a part of you now maybe realizes or recognizes what may have motivated Bear what feels like a lifetime ago. Because no matter what happens down here in this basement, you need to consume and you need to destroy this person, this thing. Whatever the source of this smell is, needs to die.
This is for Adrian and Sarah, or just Adrian?
Adrian and Sarah. That smell is roiling off of Jennifer. But you also smell it coming from this hole in the corner of this basement. You don't know the source. You can't see the source, but...
Which one is stronger?
The one coming from the hole. But you would have to move past Jennifer to get there.
I think she's shooting Jennifer. I think as soon as that, her brain like registers that, I think because she's been struggling so much with obsessing over action versus inaction, like there is no choice for her but to act in this moment. So I am doing my best to aim between the people in front of me or whatever, and I am shooting at Jennifer.
I think so. Adrian, wincing and smelling this horrible scent, trying to use his nose and like scrunching his face to try and fight it, but it keeps burrowing itself deeper into his skull, into his brain. He steps out of line, and he's keeping an eye on Jennifer, but his eyes keep flashing to the dark hole that's behind her. And as he moves out of line, I think that's when Sarah maybe has the opening.
Sarah, go ahead and make your firearms roll.
Oh God, okay. Failure.
The shot goes off. The sound of it reverberating throughout this small space. You all are temporarily deafened from this report. And the shot goes wide. It's dark down here, even with the flashlight. It's almost as if the dark seems to eat the light. Misses Jennifer entirely. And with a grin, she turns to you, Adrian. I need you to go ahead and make a power ×5 roll.
Oh my God.
Oh
I'm
boy.
rolling like terror tonight.
Oh no.
90 out of 75. You watch as Jennifer's eyes roll into the back of her head and her lips move. The words coming from her lips you don't understand. It's in a language you don't comprehend. Even if you could hear or make out exactly what it is she's saying. Suddenly, you find yourself someplace else. Cottage.
No.
Like something out of an Eastern European or Russian fairy tale. One you may have very well seen drawn in the books your parents read you as a child. Maybe even like a beloved grandmother's home. Full of soft blankets with steaming tea set in cups on a small table. The smell of cookies baking in an oven. The rest of you see Adrian all of a sudden just go still, smiling, eyes seeming to see nothing and no one, staring off into the far distance. But with that, Bear, it is your turn.
Okay, I think probably Bear probably doesn't really see this because since he's in front and his eyes are on Jen. And so he is going to shoot as well. He's taking his cue from Sarah. 78 out of 85.
Go ahead and roll damage.
That's 5. So I think he squares up. He gives a shot square in the center of mass. He's awfully surprised from Sarah's weapon discharging from behind in such close proximity, but he takes a shot. And he's not going to say anything. He's just looking very determined.
With that, we are up to Leah. It is your turn.
Despite being deafened. But yeah, Leah's also, I think, seeing what Jennifer had done, even if not knowing exactly what Adrian's going through right now, they need to snap him out of it. So she's also going to try to take a shot at Jennifer.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll.
Not a fumble, at least.
At least, because that would have been bad. With a 93 out of 49, you shoot, you miss. It's dark down here. You've taken some firearms lessons, but you notice your hands are trembling ever so slightly from the adrenaline, from the fear, from the aggression of the moment. And your shot goes wide. But we are back up to Jennifer. Jennifer looks to you, Bear, clutching this bleeding wound in the left side of her chest now. Teeth gritted through the pain, and you watch her eyes roll again as she begins saying something under her breath. Go ahead and make a power times 5 roll, please.
That is 65 out of 55.
With a 65 out of 55, Bear, you two find yourself in that cabin. You're alone. It's not like you and Adrian are now hanging out here in Babushka's cottage.
Is it a similar cottage, or does it just look detail for detail the same?
You never saw the illusion. You only saw it for what it was. When it was... What you see is almost like a fairy tale representation of that hellhole you walked into all those years ago back at Cornucopia House. Leah, Sarah, you see Bear go slack, just as still as Adrian. A similar grin parting his lips, exposing his teeth, as his eyes seem to see nothing and everything all at once. With that, we are back up to Adrian. You may attempt to shake off this illusion, this vision. You can do that by making a power times 5 roll.
I kind of want to see what happens if I stay here a little longer.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to stay here for the turn.
What do you do in the vision? What do you do in this place that you now find yourself in, not knowing it's a vision?
Looking around, seeing the fireplace crackling, seeing a lot of like the sort of traditional Russian design elements around the home, carved into the wood and knitted and painted everywhere. He is going to just sort of do like a quick 180, but he doesn't feel fear here. He doesn't feel scared. It's almost like being at grandma's house. But I think he is going to go to the window to see if he can look out and see where he is, or where this place is.
Yeah, you look outside one of the nearby windows, and you see green grass, green trees. It has to be springtime, maybe early summer. The sky is blue, cloudless. You see children playing amongst themselves. They're clean, they're happy, they're smiling, they're laughing.
Do any of them look familiar?
None that you ever would have seen.
Then I will end my turn by going towards the front door to open it.
With that, we are back. We are up to Bear. Bear, what do? You can try to resist.
Yeah, Bear wants to get the fuck out of here. He does not. This is probably still the place of the most traumatic memories of his life. He is desperate to escape. So he's going to go with all of his force of will to try and get away from here. He just closes his eyes and says, "This is not fucking happening again."
Make your power times 5.
There we go. 29 out of 55.
You open your eyes, and the smell of those cookies, of that tea, of that clean, safe space fades. And you're assaulted by the scent, that scent of the fungus, of the herbs, and you find yourself back in this cold, dank, dark basement. You have managed to shake it off, but we are back up to Sarah.
Am I still affected by the same, need to end Jennifer and, consume and all of that?
Make a sand roll.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yep.
With a 54 out of 35, yes.
Okay. And then being in that state, am I getting anything different from Adrian, or is he the same as everyone? He's just kind of still right now.
He's just still. Yeah, he's just standing there, gun hanging at his side, grinning.
Gross. Okay. I think I will. Yeah, I think I'm going to shoot again or try to. Yeah.
Make an alertness roll for me.
Success on that one.
Yeah, 17 out of 87. Even in the dark of this basement with this adrenaline coursing through your veins, you're hyper-focused, hyper-fixated on your target, on Jennifer. And you notice, despite all of this, that the wound in her chest is bleeding just a little bit less than it should be.
Okay. So maybe the bullets aren't damaging her as much as we would hope. Or does it seem like it healed? Like it was bad and now it's not?
I would say it is difficult to tell under the circumstances.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, then I'll just shoot Jennifer again, or attempt to.
Go ahead and make your firearms roll. 46 out of 60. Go ahead and roll your damage.
6.
Adrian, you reach out and put your hand on the doorknob, hearing the sounds of these children outside, smelling the fireplace, hearing the crackling logs within it, smelling those cookies drifting out from the kitchen. And suddenly, you find yourself back in the basement. You look, and Jennifer's body is now crumpled on this rotted, carpeted floor. Sarah, as you squeeze that trigger, once again, without even meaning to, just wanting to put shots on target, end the threat, you squeeze that trigger to the rear, the gun bucks, and a hole blossoms in the center of Jennifer Will's forehead. A plume of red blood and shattered bone exploding behind her as now sightless eyes trail downwards and her body falls and crumples to the ground.
Do I still have that same compulsion now that I've snapped out of the vision?
There's still a smell down there, an even stronger one.
Do I still have the compulsion to eat and to feed and to taste?
You feel satiated now that this singular source of the smell of that scent has been ended, but there's still another.
I am going to look around, confused for a moment, looking at Sarah with the gun just fired, and Bear with his gun drawn, and Dr. Caron with hers as well, and I can smell the gunpowder, but I can smell even more the scent of freshly spilled blood. And Adrian kneels down, as if to sort of just examine her, check for a pulse, and he does. He kind of presses his fingers to one side of her throat and turns her head to the other. But then his fingers trail up her cheek to the hole in her head, and he sticks 2 of his fingers into it, inside of the brain, feeling the warmth. He pulls them out and just sort of rubs the blood between his fingers, sort of up into the light of the flashlight.
There's more in the cellar, the basement, isn't there?
You still smell that smell.
Adrian will turn around after sort of acknowledging the blood, still sort of rubbing it between his fingers.
Yeah, what does Leah and Bear do seeing this?
Even though I've succeeded on my sanity check, the Bear definitely knows that there's a strong scent coming from the hole. Bear's going to be so focused on that he's probably, even if he does catch it out of the corner of his eye, this behavior, it's probably not going to register for him in the moment. He is focused on that other source of threat.
Leah is her eyes go a little wide as she watches Adrian do this in the light of the flashlight. And it's obvious because Sarah's flashlight's still trained on Jennifer, and so she can see what Adrian is doing, but she somehow can't find the words to speak to ask him what the hell he thinks he's doing. She's just like shocked.
Bear, you are walking over the hole.
Yes, I wanted to get a closer look at what's in there. Try and shine my flashlight with my gun pointed towards it if I can.
The urge to recoil as you get closer to this hole is so strong because the smell is just so overpowering. But you press on. And shining your light down the hole, you see a thin scum of foul water. And sitting atop the bones of small dogs and cats cringes a withered and bloody white man, mauled by torture. His eyes punctured by some sharp instrument, weeping red and viscous white fluid, but his ears and tongue left intact. He looks up towards you, not at you, and croaks. Is somebody up there?
This man, he's too old to be one of the kids, right?
No.
No, he's not? Okay.
Based on where we're at, do we hear...
Yes, you would hear that voice emanating from the hole.
Adrian will get up, not cleaning his fingers off, but he'll sort of like follow into the hole.
How far in the hole is this guy?
It would probably be about 6-7 feet deep.
Okay.
So not deep enough that somebody with some semblance of strength would be able to potentially jump and lift themselves out, but he is very clearly malnourished and emaciated in a not dissimilar condition to Jennifer, minus, of course, the missing eyes.
I think Bear would just look at him and almost as if he didn't realize he was speaking it out loud. He would say, "Are you the teeth or the meat?"
I'm Phil. I'm Philly Phil. She kept me down here. She made me teach her those things. She made me teach her everything. That's why she took my eyes. Can you please get me out of here?
I just wanted to do a human check. Like, I don't feel like he's faking this, but I just want to be very sure.
Go ahead and make a human roll.
Success.
19 out of 92. It is so hard to read body language down here, especially coming from someone in that condition, but the fear in his voice, the pain in his voice lends credence to what it is he's saying. You have no reason to doubt him at this point in time.
Okay. Sarah's just going to go up to him then to try and help.
To the edge of the hole?
Yeah, as close as she can get.
As Sarah steps forward, Bear's gonna take a step back and keep his gun trained on the guy just in case.
Well, that urge for you, Sarah, hasn't subsided quite yet.
Okay.
He still reeks.
What did you teach her?
I taught her everything I knew. I taught her how to heal herself. I taught her how to hold the mind hostage. I told her everything she wanted to know about what I learned from them at the house.
So, the cottage, that was your doing?
You taught her how to do that.
She made me. You have to understand, she made me.
Adrian just shoots him.
I'm not even going to make you roll firearms. This is a defenseless man at the bottom of a pit. It is very easy to aim downwards towards the general direction of his head and pull the trigger. The round catches him in the throat, and his hands instinctually snap up to grip this gushing wound as his carotid begins pumping this red blood out. Against the dirt walls of the hole he finds himself in, he gags, gargles, chokes, strangles on his own blood.
Adrian leans down, speaking in fluent Russian again. I do not like my mind toyed with. See to it that you meet Baba Yaga there, the cottage.
He dies. And I need everyone to roll sand.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, Leah, with a 96 out of 62, please roll 1d6. For Bear with a 26 out of 37. For Sarah with a 9 out of 35. And Adrian with a 43 out of 71. You all lose nothing.
4.
You lose 4, unless you want to project.
Not this time.
Okay. You lose 4 sanity watching this man die. As soon as this man, Philly Phil, breathes his last, the scent largely subsides, but you can still detect a trace of it coming from his corpse.
Does that murderous urge also melt away when he dies?
You feel full. You feel satiated. You all do.
I think in reaction to the shot, though, Bear's just gonna turn on Adrian and be like, "What the fuck? We needed to talk to him."
He wasn't going to tell you anything you didn't already know.
I don't know that.
There's something about Adrian's disposition now that is like a mixture of regret, to not be too crass. It is like a post-shot clarity. He fired the round and it felt correct. It felt ecstatic. Watching the blood run out of his neck and getting to tell him to tell Baba Yaga he said hello. But as that feeling melts away, he starts to kind of like stagger back as Bear is talking to him. And he's not hyperventilating, but he's like sort of breathing a little bit heavier, as if like coming down off of something. And like he sees the body of the man he's just killed. And if you don't mind, I'm going to subtract a point of sanity for that. I feel like even though I rolled well enough, I think that like his body is reacting in like a physiological way that like, oh yes, it's still good, but like he still has his faculties enough to know that what he did was cold-blooded murder.
In this moment, can Bear look at Adrian and try to understand what he's going through? Especially, I think, since Bear underwent something like this not too long ago. I was thinking about a human roll.
Yeah, go for it. Make a human roll. And Adrian, I will never be one to deprive one of my players of the desire to reduce their own sanity on their own terms. But go ahead and roll 1d4. I won't ask you to roll a full 1d6, but roll 1d4.
3.
You lose 3 sanity. But unfortunately, with an 84 out of 51 Bear.
I don't make the connection, I guess.
What is the look on Adrian's face? I imagine Adrian is a very flat affect at times, but Jack, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
Adrian's expression is again sort of a mixture of regret and clarity and like the come down of excitement. Like he's breathing a little heavier. He's trying to slow his breath down to calm himself. But yeah, other than that, his expressions are usually pretty placid.
It's tough to read, Bear, especially here.
Yeah, I think Bear just kind of like stares at him and says, "Gotta get a hold of yourself, man."
Did you even mean to shoot him?
Yes.
What's Sarah doing during all of this?
I think since she was in a similar state of mind as Adrian, she probably would have done it if he didn't. And I think as that intense feeling starts to fade a little bit, or at least is as full as it can get in the moment, she's kind of coming down the same way, but maybe because she's been in these kinds of scenarios more often. Like, I think she always knew this man would have to die. I think she's kind of just standing there for a minute, looking at the body and rationalizing it in her head now that she is in a more logical state of mind. And then, she'll put her gun away and just said, it had to happen.
If he kept talking, there's no telling what he would have done to us. I saw it. She took me there.
Took you where?
It was beautiful. It was like something from my mother's country. It was like a cottage. It's old, but beautiful. It's like something out of a fairy tale. cookies. They were being freshly baked, and there was a fireplace, and there were children. I could see and hear them playing in the yard. It was springtime. There was grass. It was blue sky, and I didn't want to leave.
That's what you saw?
You don't believe me?
No, I saw something a lot like that, except it was dark. It was behind the facade. I knew there was something else because I saw there was something else many years ago. What you saw was not what was really there.
Did it look like Cornucopia House, Bear?
Twisted version of it. It almost would have been better just to see Cornucopia House the way it was. That saccharine, sweet place is an abomination to their memory.
Well, I mean, yeah, then who knows if... I mean, he seemed helpless, but if he taught her how to do those things, I mean, he never would have been safe for us to allow to leave this building. There was no reality where he walked out of here.
Yeah, when Sarah says those words, I think you see the expression on Bear's face just melt and change. He goes from anger and recrimination to acceptance.
I would like to just search the body to see if there's anything remarkable about it.
Phil's?
Yeah.
So you'd have to pull him up from out of the hole.
Yeah. I'll yank him out of there. I'll ask Dr. Caron to give me a hand if she can.
You'll probably want Bear to help you out with that.
Yeah, I'll just say, someone give me a hand here.
Yeah, Bear will reach down. Are we like jumping in the hole, or are we going to try and... probably somebody's got to get in the hole.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine Adrian's small enough he can crawl in the hole.
All right.
So remember Silence of the Lambs, the pit in Buffalo Bill's basement?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that without the rocks. Very hastily dug, essentially to pull him out without getting into the hole or like trying to lift him out. What would essentially have to happen is one person would kind of have to lean over the side, one person would have to hold the legs or the ankles and kind of lower him in, and then kind of drag. So you've got that option, or you've got the option of jumping in there and then trying to lift him out and have somebody on top pick him up.
Yeah, I figured Adrian will just jump down. And the guy is, you said he likes skin and bones, right? Just emaciated.
Yeah, I'll just ask you to make a strength roll.
Well, my strength is 5. I'm an indoor kid.
So you'll have to meet or beat her 25.
Oh, damn.
Even if I were to give you a bonus, that would still be a 34. Okay.
No, it's fine. I think, yeah, he'll jump down because his dex is decent. He's got a 14 dex. So I think he jumps down and he's kind of like fumbling around the darkness, and he's like trying to hoist this dead skeletal man up. And I think he's able to like maybe like prop him up, but like he realizes how actually tall this pit is, and he realizes that like there's not a lot of room to finagle, and so he just sort of like frustrated, he just throws his body down back on the ground against the wall of the pit, and he'll shout up at Bear and say, "I can't get him up. Can you throw down a flashlight?"
Get out of the way, kid. And Bear's just going to drop into the hole, grab him underneath the shoulders, and lift him out. Phil, not Adrian.
And who on the top is going to grab Phil and drag him?
I guess I can try.
Bear, you jump down, and with ease, you pick up this skeletal man who has to weigh maybe 120, maybe. You shoulder press that as a warm-up. So you grab him, hoist him up. Sarah, I'm not going to ask you to make a strength roll simply because you're dragging, and you manage to grab Phil or what's left of him under the arms and pull and get him up. We'll say, Sarah, Leah, you help the two gentlemen get out from inside that hole. Their ankles and shoes and socks sodden now with this disgusting water. But you all reconvene outside the hole, back on terra firma.
We need to search the body, right?
Can if you want.
If I remember, Sarah has a better search than me, but mine's not too bad.
Adrian, did you want to look the body over?
Yeah, I've got a 60.
I won't make you roll. There's nothing.
I'm not looking for like objects. I'm looking for like marks or like signs of injury that kind of points to any sort of interesting history or...
Oh, yeah. This is a man who spent the vast majority of his young adult and early adult life abusing narcotics of every shape and form.
Doesn't he have any markings that sort of either bear resemblance to any of the other kids, or does he have anything that kind of points to his history as, you know, a practitioner of whatever sort of occult stuff he's been up to, or natural stuff rather he's been up to?
While they're doing this, can Leah search Jennifer?
Yes. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Any clues, anything on her body, anything that might lead us to our next place?
There is nothing.
Damn.
As for Phil, remarkably no tattoos, no marks, no images, nothing that you've seen on the other children.
So out of character, Jennifer was or was not someone who came from Cornucopia House?
Was.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, so now we're only missing Thomas. That's the only one unaccounted for. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll search, this basement area, the house. Just trying to look for any kind of anything, really.
Apart from the images on the walls upstairs, nothing down here but bones and candles and drug paraphernalia.
Okay. Thinking in terms of like cleanup. Because I'm assuming someone heard shots. The hole's probably too big to like just dump them and try to like... How much like debris is there? Could we reasonably like dump them and try to fill it? Or is that the hole's too big and there's not really enough with our manpower and time to do that?
No, you could. It would probably take an hour or so. They're not going to be buried, but you could cover them up.
Okay.
I think we should probably do this right. Maybe get some lime.
Yeah, we could. We should try to like destroy any occult markings as best we can. Just in the off chance that years from now, someone wanders in and fucks around with something.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So maybe if one of us goes and gets lye, the rest of us can kind of try to clean up the scene best we can.
Bear points at his now muddy up to his shins. And he says, I don't think I can go anywhere smelling like this. Is there a shovel down here that was used to dig this hole to begin with?
Yes. And I will also say something I did forget to mention. Leah, when you searched Jennifer, she was clutching a rusty box cutter.
Yeah.
Ow.
Couple points of order with your criminology skills for those of you who possess it. These individuals have been shot with your service weapons.
Yeah.
Yep.
If the bodies are found and the slugs are pulled, the slugs by themselves will not be enough to tie back to you. It's not like there's a federal database of the ballistics for each and every agent's individual assigned weapon. With that being said, if anybody had ever had any reason to look at you or dig deeper and they compared those slugs to the ones produced by your issued weapons, they would be able to make a match.
And if the father next door figures out that we were looking for Phil and all of a sudden he turned up missing, we're suspect number one.
You did tell him you were going across the street.
Can we dig out the slugs?
We do have a box cutter.
Leah could.
Yeah, I could theoretically get out both the slugs.
Okay, I'll go get the lye then.
Okay.
You guys clean up everything.
Yeah, she can do that. She'll surgically get the slugs out.
I think while we're doing this, maybe Bear is going to try and make sure that the hole is deep enough and big enough for both these bodies. So possibly widening it or deepening it if he can.
It's deep and wide enough that you could dump them both in there.
Okay. I was just thinking if we could do a better job of burying them, and that would make it less likely, since we have time, he would do that.
Did we have like a shovel, did we say?
Yeah, there was a shovel down here.
So maybe we just like dig out the side of the pit. Just like try to knock out, because you said it's not like, it's just hewed, it's not like brick laid, right?
Correct.
Yes, so maybe we just like pull out dirt from the side.
But the plan is to get Lye, right?
Yeah, we're going to put Lye on them first, and then we'll bury them.
Got it. Okay, just making sure. So, Sarah, you run out to the nearest Home Depot or Lowe's. Well, it's early enough, I think you could probably still get there. And as you head out, you don't see any sign of a police response. Weirder things have probably been heard coming from this house that have gone unreported. So, you're relatively okay. But you go get the Lye. Leah, go ahead and make a surgery roll.
All right, let's go. Come on. That was close. Closer than I'd like, but sure.
With a 65 out of 70. So the slug in Phil's neck is not difficult to pull out. The one in Jennifer's chest, likewise, is not difficult to pull out. So you get those. But one of the shots did go through Jennifer's head. So somebody's going to need to make a search roll to try to find that one.
I'll say that maybe as Dr. Caron has been doing the surgery, Adrian has been sort of holding a flashlight for her.
When she gets to the head, she kind of like turns around and says, "Nah, nope, the slug's not in here, inside of her. It's somewhere in the room."
Let me try and find it.
Go ahead and make a search roll.
Dog, I'm rolling like ass tonight.
With an 80 out of 60.
After she's finished with the surgery, she can kind of try to guesstimate the trajectory and see where it went in the walls, maybe?
Bear, are you helping?
Yeah, Bear will help.
Who's got the higher search of you two?
I've got a 64.
I only got a 61, so I can help you.
Okay.
So with that, Bear, you go ahead and roll.
Okay. Ooh, just a flat 60, but
60 out of 64. Yeah, you're easily able to find it embedded in the far wall and dig it out using your multi-tool, your knife, whatever you happen to have on you, and you recover that slug.
all right. I guess we're going to pocket all the slugs and throw them away someplace else later.
Okay.
Yeah, other than that, preparing any paraphernalia that we have to deface, we can be defacing, or anything that's loose, we can take it and throw it into the hole to bury it with them. Does that sound all right?
Yeah, that sounds great. Adrian, with your occult skill, there's nothing in this basement or even in the images upstairs that are overtly occult or unusual in nature. So nothing that you would think would meet the threshold of what Sarah was looking for that could potentially be exploited in the future. It looks like everything that these two knew died with them. But we'll say, as you're doing this, about 45 minutes to an hour total, Sarah eventually does return with the Lye.
Yeah, I'll just start getting rid of the bodies.
Bear will drag the bodies in, and Sarah can pour lye on top of them.
Are we applying water as well? There is a little bit of water down there, but you may need more depending on how much lye you're applying to the bodies.
I mean, if we knew that we were getting lye, could it be feasible that Sarah also knew to get like jugs of water?
Yeah, what's your forensics, Sarah? Or criminology, either?
Criminology is 74 and forensics is 70.
Yeah, with those two, you would know that you need water to activate lye, so you stopped off at a Circle K or something on the way back and picked up some jugs of water to activate it once it's poured.
Okay, perfect.
Bodies are in the hole, lye has been applied, water has been applied. You take another 15, 20 minutes to essentially collapse the sides of this hole down on top of their corpses. Maybe cover it with some of the trash and detritus you've found down there. And you've got the slugs recovered. I will say, with the search roll you made, Bear, and to your knowledge, I won't make you roll again, you think to collect the casings.
Yeah.
When Bear has finally collected all the casings, Adrian will sort of saunter up to him and just say, the one that came out of her head, I'd like to see it, please.
Yeah, he'll reach in to his pocket where he has them wrapped up in a handkerchief or something. He'll open it up. He'll point to the one that it is.
Adrian's going to try and pluck it out of his hand.
I mean, Bear's not going to stop him.
Yeah, he'll pluck it out of his hand and just sort of almost a similar fashion as he was sort of surveying the blood and brain matter that he was pressing between his fingers. He sort of holds the slug in his fingers and he won't say anything. He'll just turn and put it in the pocket and start to walk out.
We got to get rid of that kid.
Adrian says nothing. He keeps walking.
Yeah, Sarah's stepping in front of him so he can't leave.
I mean, we're going to take them out of here, right? Can't leave them behind.
Yeah, but we got to get rid of them.
We're not taking them as souvenirs. Give them to Dr. Caron.
He hesitates, holding it in his hand in his pocket. I don't understand why I can't just have it.
I think you do.
Kind of bites his lip a bit, like he knows he does, but she's kind of called him out on his bullshit. And he just relents, and he'll pluck it out of his pocket and hand it back to Bear.
Having heard what Sarah said, Bear wraps them all up and hands them over to Leah.
Yeah, Leah takes them, puts it on a surgical glove, and puts it away.
All right, we good?
I don't know if that's the word I would use for this, but I'm ready to leave if you all are.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
With the bodies now interred in that basement beneath that house, what's the next step?
Okay, so at this point, we need to track down Thomas. Is that it?
That's it.
Didn't the father say that Thomas had been seen in the last week?
Father Robledo, he did. And the Perez family vehicle was found abandoned in Miami.
And was it found by the Gator Gate?
It was found in the vicinity around St. Lawrence Church, in that same neighborhood. But I will say, with the additional context you've gotten and some of the images you've seen on the walls of that house, when you get back to the hotel, if you want to spend some time on Google Earth, Google Maps, you can try to put it all together into a direction of where to go next with N times 5 rules.
Well, in that case, maybe Adrian will just sort of be in the back seat on his laptop. Who else has good ends that can maybe help?
I could try.
Maybe we're in the back seat and
I'm probably glancing over your shoulder at your laptop, being what are you looking at?
I'm just trying to figure out these images. You all said that the images were references to places here in Florida. But there was another image. There was a tree. It wasn't in any of the materials before, so maybe that's a clue. Maybe it's something that we can follow. Maybe Thomas is there waiting for us.
Probably, but yes, let's see what we can find.
What's your intelligence, Sarah?
85.
And yours is 80, Adrian?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Sarah, go ahead and make that N times 5 roll. With a 56 under 85. Sitting in that back seat as you all drive, I'm assuming back to your hotel.
Yeah, most likely.
You pour through the images of Alligator Alley on Google Earth, Google Maps, pick your app. Begin trying to plug them together into a semblance of a path, of a direction to travel in. And you find that there's a giant sculpture built over Interstate 75 on the way west out of Miami. the two alligators. You once again identify where exactly the steakhouse is, the pole with the horns, just outside of Mikasuki Service Plaza, which is at the intersection of I-75 and West State Road 84. And the tree, you see a turnoff marked by that tree on Alligator Alley, heading deep into the swamp.
Go to the swamp. That's where we're meant to go.
Yeah, I think so.
Did I ever get any emails or calls about the blood test results?
You know what? Make a luck roll.
Okay.
With a 30 out of 50, you did receive an email back confirming that the blood was human.
Interesting. Did it have any other information beyond its point of origin? Like,
Leah, would those results typically have a blood type associated to it?
Yeah, we can tell a blood type.
Okay. Bear, what's your blood type?
Oh dear. I guess it's B positive.
The blood is B positive.
Bear kind of hears that and goes, "That's my blood type."
What the heck?
what?
I mean, I don't know how common that is, but
I mean, B positive is not as common as like it depends, but that was what was on your collar?
yeah.
What the fuck?
I think Bear seems pretty surprised by this.
Yeah, make a sand roll.
Maybe starting to wonder if, well, we'll see how the sand roll goes. 21.
21 out of 37. Yeah, you lose nothing.
He just shakes it off. He said he knows what he saw.
Adrian gives a bit of a side eye, but doesn't think anything more of it. So do we wait? Do we just head right into this swamp? I mean, we can do a little bit of reconnaissance, right? But I don't know if... Like, what are we looking for there, other than him?
Unfortunately, I think we'll know it when we see it. It's kind of how it's been.
What are we ever looking for, except for these kids? They have a tendency to show up.
I still can't wrap my brain around it. But if Thomas is the only one left, and that graffiti, the images, the little kid surrounded by 4 dead bodies, the red-minded people, I don't want to think about what Thomas could do to us, but we have to be smart about this, right? Like if these images that we see are a key, but it's a key that's updated to coordinate with us as we're moving. Do you see what I'm saying? Like these things were made weeks ago, months ago, years ago even, I don't know. But they're aligning with where we are in the present. And so if these things are not just telling the present, but they're also telling the future, then does the future mean that it's already been predetermined? Like, are we going to die if we go to the swamp?
I mean, does the answer to that change whether or not we go?
Adrian's stomach drops at that answer.
I think we got a better chance of meeting this face on than trying to run from it.
Otherwise, we're just prey, getting hunted. Because we get picked off one by one.
We have to be predators.
We have a job to do. That's to finish this.
No, Adrian, as a matter of fact, we don't all have to be predators. We just have the choice.
Please, Dick.
I didn't understand that. Was I supposed to?
It's just it's a Russian word. No, unless you speak Russian.
So what's the game plan? Are we heading back to rest and tackle this tomorrow, or are we going right over?
I think we should go right over. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm kind of in that space too.
We should definitely prepare better than we did this time round.
We'll make sure to bring the shotguns with us.
And Kevlar and our armor.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do think we should go tonight.
Do we think we need anything else too to meet this last? Because he's the last one.
Somebody make an N times 5 roll.
I can do it. There we go.
Yeah, with a 34 under 85, you distinctly remember Father Robledo telling you that Thomas Perez left with others, so he may not be the only one out there.
And were they younger? Were they children, or were they like just adults?
Not adults, teenagers.
Yeah. He will likely not be alone, so we have to be prepared for that.
He took some of those kids with him, didn't he? The teens.
We've got a heavy rifle, a hunting rifle that we bought last time.
You do. You have the hunting rifle that you bought for your Eckstein meet, and then whatever else you all would have as your standard loadouts for federal agents. I think Sarah had a shotgun as well.
Yep.
And Bear had another shotgun if somebody needs one. But the rifle is good because it is not traceable to us.
We'll just say you got your hunting rifle, you've got your 2 shotguns, one for Bear, one for Sarah, you've got your body armor, and then Leah and Adrian, you have your sidearms, your pistols.
Got it.
So Bear, you can use I'm assuming you're going to use the hunting rifle. Would you hand your shotgun off to anybody?
Definitely. I would keep my sidearm just in case, somebody sneaked up on me, but I think Bear again would be trying to set up Overwatch.
And who do you give the shotgun to?
Who needs it?
I don't have one, but I can use one.
I think Bear would just tend to offer it to Leah.
Okay. She'll take it, look at it, and just nod. Let's do this.
I mean, I think in Bear's mind, he has recent evidence that Adrian's really bad at shooting, since Adrian shot at him and missed. But
How dare you?
But he doesn't know if Leia's better with a gun than Adrian, but he assumes she has to be.
Yeah. The doctor is better than the trained FBI agent. Yeah, that makes sense.
There you go.
So I will say also with a shotgun, because it's firing shot, it'll be a 20% bonus to hit.
That helps too.
Yeah.
But Bear would also be very aware of how easy it is to hit friendlies with a poorly aimed shot with a shotgun.
Yes. So we're heading into the swamp.
We're heading into the swamp.
Yeah, it sounds like we know where to turn even. I think one thing is as they're driving in the car, at one point, Bear is just going to say, would have been really good to talk to Philly Phil.
Adrian just sort of sucks his teeth and glowers, but does not say anything.
Bear's obviously not happy with that, but he probably won't go any further.
You drive down Interstate 75, down Alligator Alley, past the giant faux bronze alligators standing watch over the roadway, past the sad, dingy yellow and the horned pole outside the truck stop and the steakhouse. Slow flowing canals run on either side most of the way, each as wide as the interstate itself. A withered tree, all too distinctive, stands alone between the southern lanes and the tall fence that holds back the wilds, as if it came forward to grow bravely on its own and then died. The fence, meant to keep alligators and panthers back from the highway, has been hacked wide open. Signs dangling from it, pockmarked with bullet holes, weathered, warn of danger. This is where you're meant to be. And you can feel it. The car won't be able to make it the rest of the way. You'll have to move on foot.
Yeah. So it's, for the record, I'm bringing with me both my pistols and my Kevlar vest. Oh, and I do have an issued pump-action shotgun with 40 spare rounds.
Okay.
Tactical body armor, is that like full like SWAT, or is it just like vest and...
Yeah, it gives you an armor rating of 5.
Cool.
But it can't be concealed. It has to be worn outside your clothes. And everybody who's a federal agent would have access to that.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just heading into the swamp, I'm not super worried about like being outed as FBI or something. So yeah, I'll strap up and it'll feel strange. I'll feel like a Master Chief or something like that. But
What about Sarah and Bear? Are you using your Kevlar, or are you gonna strap on your tactical body armor?
I mean, I think I'd put on my tactical at this point.
Yeah, Bear would as well. I think, we're getting ready for it.
What's the marching order?
So Bear's going to be looking for a place where he can establish a overwatch position. But, I mean, Bear's okay to lead if you guys want.
Sarah can lead if you want to find a place to post up.
So Bear will take up the rear. I think as we go, we should be searching for what's out there, right?
Signs, yeah.
yeah, what time of day is it, or night?
We're probably approaching midnight.
Okay.
Do we hear any like animal sounds? Like, I mean, it's probably night. We wouldn't hear birds or anything, but does it feel like unnaturally still?
You follow this faint trail leading from the breach in the fence and into the swamp. It's a slow slog through trees and undergrowth where still water seeps. It meanders along stretches of muddy but solid earth surrounded by sawgrass marsh. The mosquitoes are inescapable. Mires and thickets deepen and thicken claustrophobically with every step. There's an amphibian chorus singing deafeningly all around you. Rhythmic squawks and pulses sound almost musical above a constant, painfully high-pitched ringing punctuated here and there by low, insistent croaks. These clicks, buzzes, and clacks seem to follow you as you make your way through it. An occasional belching growl, deep and menacing, unmistakably made by alligators. Struggling through saw palmettos and grasping shrubs, you eventually see them. 6 young men and a woman standing huddled together around a fire, swaying back and forth, wailing together in a wordless, breathy keening. Some look like average customers at Walmart. A couple are gaunt, covered in sores, and wearing filthy rags. None have yet reached their mid-20s, though hard lives have added years behind their eyes. They clutch each other, moaning. For you, Bear, since you're keeping an eye out, there are a few lines of sight from solid ground that extend out more than 50 meters. Do you have any skill in survival or military science?
I've got like a 10 in survival and none in military science.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this being a swamp, it's going to be hard to get up. So I think maybe Bear's just going to stay in the rear with these guys.
There are plenty of places to set up. Whether or not they'll be effective remains to be seen. But in the middle of this huddle, you see Thomas Perez. And as with Elle and Samuel both, you feel some inexplicable connection with him, even this far out. What do we do?
We don't smell the smell, do we?
You do not this far out.
Do we see any weapons?
None.
Do we see any animals?
You do not.
I mean, do we just go for it?
If he's in your sights, Bear.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You want me to take a shot from here?
I mean, if you can.
All right, well, all of you guys get in defensive positions then.
Okay. Yeah.
And Bear will try to find a place that's reasonably defensive, but gives him his priority is going to be on making the shot, not on defensive position.
And Sarah is going to remind everyone to be mindful of the alligators, please. We don't want one of them coming up out towards us under his control. So just mind your step.
Yeah. Can we scan the area just to make sure that we're not like right on top of a nest of alligators or something?
Who's got the highest stealth rating of the group?
Mine's 33.
Bear, make a stealth roll.
Damn. Nope, that's a fumble.
Bear with a 55 out of 33. As you try to navigate through this brush, through this swamp, trying to find a place to set up within sight of this campfire, of this gathering. You trip. You fall. The wind is knocked out of you as you collide with the earth beneath. It's like hearing a tree fall. The group ahead of you around this campfire stops their singing, their moaning, their keening, and turn to regard your position in the woodline. Thomas Perez looks at you, towards you, but you know he's seeing you. He pulls a knife from his pocket, a hunting knife, likely the same one he used to butcher his family before fleeing Maryland, and slices his hand open.
Oh no.
Behind him, the people with him, his fellow worshippers, singers, they begin to walk towards the water behind him, towards the swamp. Alligators rise from the water, each one nearly 4 meters long, and they begin eating. These 6 men and women offer themselves to these animals for consumption. You hear the rending of flesh, the cracking of bones as they are eaten. I need everyone to roll sand, please.
Oh, geez. Is Thomas included in this?
Thomas stands alone, and he is not being consumed at this point.
Are they screaming at all, or?
They are not. Bear with a 78 out of 37, you lose 1. Leah with a 30 out of 58, you lose nothing. Adrian with a 21 out of 68, you lose nothing. And Sarah with a 61 out of 35, you lose 1. Thomas begins walking towards you, the blade held high. Behind him, shapes rise from the mud. The alligators and the dead, fused into these things that defy examination. There's 4 of them, 1 for each of you. They skitter, thrash, and lope towards you. Arms protruding from their scales, from their hide. These are no longer just alligators. It is as if they and their prey have fused into one abomination of flesh and scale. Human fingers grasp and mad human eyes stare from random reptilian distensions. There is no explaining it. These things have no name. There is only the terror and the need to survive it. I need everyone to make another sanity roll, please. Adrian with a 33 out of 68, you lose 1. Leah with a 6 out of 58, you lose 1. Bear with a 61 out of 36. I need you to roll 1d6. And Sarah with a 99 out of 34, you lose 6.
Holy crap. Okay. That's 4.
You lose 4, Bear.
That is going to bring me to my breaking point. I'm going to project.
Okay.
I think I'm going to project on Gerrald then. So that's a D4. That's 2. All right. So that still means I lost 2 on a single roll, which is also not good. So that'll trigger an acute episode. Okay, so I subtract 2 from my bond with Gerrald, and I subtract 2 from willpower points. I take 2 sanity, which puts me above my breaking point still.
Sarah, what are you doing?
I would like to project so I don't go insane right now.
I think it's a great idea.
I at least did not hit my breaking point, but yeah. I'm gonna project onto my sister. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take 2.
So that brings it down to 4.
Okay.
As you all stand there, reeling from the sight of these things, crawling from the muck and the blood and the water, advancing from behind Thomas in your direction, Thomas seemingly leading them. You ready your weapons, and we bring tonight's session to a close. Thank you for listening to Delta Green, God's Teeth, part of the Black Project Gaming podcast. If you like what you heard, please consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or a comment on YouTube. Be sure to visit blackprojectgaming.com for previous and future Delta Green episodes. If you'd like updates on all future releases, please follow us on Blue Sky or Facebook. Until next time, I'm Vince, your host and handler, with Cami as FBI Special Agent Sarah Hart, Doug as Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent Gerrald Bear Swenson, Jack as Special Agent Adrian Selivanov with the FBI's Computer Analysis Response Team, and Sonia as Dr. Leah Caron with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Thank you again, and remember, we'll be seeing you.